Hi, I'm Denise O'Malley, the founder of You Define Wellness and the host of the Defining Wellness Confab. And if you've been following along with us, you know what I'm doing is introducing you in 48 sessions to the health and wellness experts that I know, because our theme is becoming the director of your own healthcare. And that's great. But when you're taking charge and you're stepping outside of your medical insurance or you're trying to fix things in your life, you don't know where to turn. Well, I do. I've got some of the best people that I'm introducing you to, and one of them is somebody who has an incredible background, incredible mentors that he's worked with, and we're going to hopefully learn all about this in this conversation. But I want to introduce you to Kevin Carton with KC Coaching, and we're going to be talking about the purpose is the answer. So, Kevin, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. I'm really, really thrilled to be here.
Awesome. So, tell us about you and what you do.
Sure. So I run my coaching business. It's KC Coaching, really fancy name. It's just my initials, KC. But I help people not only discover what their purpose is in life, but then actually live it. And that's why the title that I chose is Your Purpose is the Answer. Because a lot of times we feel that, and this is my story, my background, that I felt I wasn't resonant with my path in life that I chose as my career, and that affected my relationships, that affected my health. And so when getting clear on your purpose and then starting to live it, even when tons of things don't start changing right away, you just start to feel better. And so it's my real joy to help people unlock that capacity that is always within them. And I know that is always within you. Feel it, like you know that it's within you because you feel it, and it's just a general feeling that we all have. And until we start to live our purpose, then it's always there, that sense of deeper fulfillment that we're seeking. And so that's my work in helping people do that, tap into that.
You know, I love all that. And you and I have had some conversations about our purpose and our paths and how we get to where we are. And, you know, one of the things that I am the most curious about, I think there are a lot of people out there who are like, I know there's a reason I was put on this earth and I have no friggin' clue what it is.
Yep.
That was me for the first 50 years of my life. How do you help someone with that?
Yeah, it's a loaded question for sure, because there's so many different directions you can go. Mm-hmm. And the answer is deceptively simple. And I use that phrase specifically, that it's deceptive how simple it is. Mm-hmm. Because we want to thinking of our purpose, like it's the reason why we're alive. Like in our minds, we get thinking about it's like, oh, it should be hard or difficult to discover. It should be like this long path. And sometimes it is a long path, but the answer is very simple, and how to discover it and how to live it is following what feels right to you. Because think about this. This blew my mind when I was first introduced to this concept, that how do you know a good idea from a bad idea?
You're good,
right?
Yeah,
You just know, you just know. And sometimes it's logical, but a lot of times it's more of a feeling. Yeah. And sometimes that's something that's logical for you it just doesn't feel right. And that's ultimately where I was. Like my background, I went to school to get my doctorate in pharmacy, and on paper, it made so much sense to stay. And I chose that path, and I was resonant with it for about 3.5 years. Mm-hmm. And things started to shift and change, and I just followed more of what resonated with me, which was not pharmacy. Mm-hmm. And it opened up a whole new world of what I didn't know at first. And that's what I was saying. Sometimes it takes some time. You're not going to discover it in a day. And you're not meant to discover it in a day. It's the path of discovery. And that word, I'm very particular about words and phrases. And so the word discover, like you put a hyphen between dis and then cover, you're taking off the cover from what's already there. And so it's just following that pull to something. And it could be a hobby that you really enjoy. It could be something that you have thought about when you were a child, or something that you just do on the weekends, or something you've considered. Like, and here, this is a funny example. I wouldn't say this is my purpose, but I'm just so tapped in myself now to what makes me come alive that I just notice these things. And just yesterday, someone messaged me. I posted a picture on my Instagram, and someone messaged me and said, "Oh, you should be a model." Mm-hmm. And I laughed because there was like one or two moments in the past, like several years ago, I was thinking like, you know what would it be like if I was a model? And just, I gave myself that permission to just imagine that and just try on that possibility. And ultimately it's just not like feeling like that's my purpose. It's not, but it's just allowing yourself to just taste some of these things. And it starts in your mind, just allowing, it's like, what would my life be like if I was doing that? And if you feel more of a sense of aliveness, then take a step.
So I'm going to use a lot of my own personal in this because this is a very personal topic. Absolutely, is finding your purpose. So I'm going to tell you, I said for the first 50 years, actually 50 plus years, we just won't count, of my life, I knew there was an it. I didn't know what it was. And I just had a light bulb go on when you were talking. And the reason is because you're saying, listen, the gut, is it right or is it wrong? And I will tell you that the company that I created, the purpose, I found my purpose in this company, is not something that I ever would have thought of when you're like, okay, what's going to make you happy type of a thing. I wouldn't have done it. But what you're saying is you're really digging in to the underlying, what is it that's nagging at you? I'm putting words in your mouth here, but I'm just putting confirmation in. And what would have come out for me all those years was a desire. I felt like I didn't understand spirituality, and I had a hunger for knowing that there was a gap there. And it wasn't until I explored that, which was nagging, that the purpose became evident to me.
Yes.
Oh man,
it's ultimately, like, that's why I use that word discover.
Yeah.
Because it's a process, and that, like, I'll describe my process, because it's not a straight line. It never is, and we understand that. When we hear that, it's like, yeah, of course. But actually living your life as if like it's not going to be a straight line gives you a sense of ease. Like, you don't need to figure it out right away, and it takes away the stress or like the kind of like, it's like a big idea and like, I have to figure this out. You don't have to figure it out. Figuring it out means you're working from your intellect. It's not tapping into the heart. It's not tapping into why you're here. And so it's just a matter of discovering it. And so, like, my journey, like, once I left pharmacy, which was a very difficult, scary, uncertain decision, and that may be where some of the listeners might be, like, where like what you're doing is not your purpose. And what do you do about it? Is you take a step that you can take, no matter how scary it is. And there's something to be said about like making sure you're secure. Like, you can put a roof over your head and feed yourself, but ultimately it's just facing the fear and going for something that just seems more resonant with you. And so when I left pharmacy, I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do, like what my purpose was, but I was working in a network marketing company and I felt resonant with it. So I pursued that. And then 2 or 3 months later, after I left pharmacy and I was working in that network marketing company, I got an opportunity to work for my fraternity. It literally dropped in my lap. Like, I was scrolling through Facebook one day, and my fraternity, like the national fraternity, posted a job offering, and I felt resonant with it. I went for it, and I got the job. It moved me out to Texas, which was, it was an expansion of energy, and I felt resonant with it. I knew I wasn't going to like work for my fraternity for the rest of my life, but it was a step forward. And then from there, in Texas, while I was living in Texas, I got certified as a yoga instructor, because that was a dream of mine. Like, I felt resonant with teaching yoga because I loved yoga. So I went towards that. And then from there, I started coaching and getting into a coaching relationship with a woman named Mary Morrissey, which, Denise, you know.
Yeah, I just adore her.
She's awesome. And so I resonated with that. I took that step. And then through that whole thing, I got a job working for her company. And so that started to just align more and more. It's like you're tacking on a ship. I never sailed a sailboat, but I know that this is how you do it, is that you don't go just straight. You have to like adjust the sail, and you're going like this all the time to the destination. And so ultimately, like, I just kept following what more like resonated with me more and more. And ultimately I just felt better about myself more and more. I gained more confidence. I loved myself more. And from that, I got to tap in deeper. It's like a loop, a positive feedback loop. Once you make one decision, you feel good about yourself and you want to make more decisions like that. And so it ultimately just leads you to then your ultimate purpose. And, it took me 5 years until I really felt like I found what I'm here to do as a life coach, and helping people discover their purpose. And like, I use my journey as an example, but then also the systems that I have to help my clients as well. So like, it's a process. It takes time, but it's just trusting that there is that purpose for you in life.
Oh, I just love this. So let's talk about how you work with your clients, because,
Yes,
it's not an overnight, oh, hey, yeah, that's my purpose, and hello, I'm gone. It is a
exactly.
process you're working with them through. And you were saying that you have these tools that you are using to help. What does that look like?
Yeah. So the fundamental process I take all my clients through is a program called the Dream Builder. And it was developed by Mary Morrissey and the Life Mastery Institute. And I'm very privileged to say that I get to coach my clients through her program,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a robust program that's been developed over 30 years of
Mm-hmm.
experience. Because I'm 26. I have great experience. I have a lot of knowledge and spiritual depth that I can come to a certain situation that a client is facing and help them overcome that. I'm aware of that capacity that I have within me as a professional, and I'm also aware that I don't have all the answers, and so I rely on the system. And
Mm-hmm.
so the system, there's three parts to it. Is design, or there's three B's to this whole process. Is blueprinting, bridging, and then building. And so the first part is blueprinting. You have to design your dream, come up with a vision for your life. It's not enough to just say like, I think I would love to be a painter, or I would love to teach, or just have like an idea of what you would want to do. You need to be very specific about what that life would look like when you are living that, because you need to become a new version of you in order to take the steps that are required to take. And
Yeah.
so getting clear first is the first step. And then the second thing is bridging how you feel, like how you see yourself
Mm-hmm.
from where you are right now to the life you want to live, to your vision. And then it's building, it's taking the steps. And there's a lot more that goes into that, like trusting your intuition, developing a sense of deserving, how to face the fear, and also how to work with forgiveness, because
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of things that are holding us back that like we don't believe that we're capable of based on our past, our history, things that other people have said to us that have hurt, or that we've said to ourselves that hurt. So I mean, I could talk for hours on it, but
Yeah.
it's just structured.
Great.
It works.
So you brought up your age. I wasn't going to bring it up, just for the record.
Yeah.
I mean, you've proven to me that you can work with all age groups, and um, and so let's talk about that. How
Yeah.
you are working with all age groups. It's not
Yeah.
just the ones who are coming out of college and they're like, oh, what now? You're dealing with the midlifers. You're dealing with
Yes.
every stage of development, male or female.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry, my phone was doing funky things.
All
Um,
good.
yeah. So the way that you work with clients also is you don't have to be across from them at a desk. You can work with anyone, anywhere in the world.
Yes. And I video chat with all my clients. Like right now I have a client who lives in London, as well as a client who lives in Australia. I've worked with people in Canada. It's just, yeah, all over the world, because what matters is just a person's desire to want to live a life that they feel in alignment with. And
Hmm.
most people are not living that way. And I mean, statistics show that, like, just statistics in terms of like job satisfaction is like 80% or so people are just not satisfied with what they're doing. And
Hmm.
that's why I know that there's that need, and I'm fulfilling that need, because it's on something that's on all of our hearts.
Hmm. Yeah. Now, for the person who is watching this video and thinking, "Oh my gosh, I absolutely need to work with Kevin," but maybe the funds they're not willing to make that the whole investment. Do you work with groups of people?
Yes, I do. I actually just recently, in the last like 4 or 5 months, started groups, and yeah, it's a very different investment, because private coaching, is a higher rate.
Yeah.
Uh, there's just more time, but yeah, my groups are phenomenal. Like, and I keep them small too, which is great, because I like to have like, there's a lot of a power that comes from sharing. Even if someone doesn't have a question, just giving them time to share what's going on in their life.
Yeah.
I find that in my own life, it's just like, if you have time to just share something, like you often come up with some of your own answers that you just
Yeah.
didn't think of before. So
Yeah.
yeah, I keep my groups to like 5 people. So
That's fantastic. Thank you. I did not know you were doing that. I love that.
yeah,
It's fantastic. I have somebody in my mind who's younger, and that's going to be an obstacle for him to be able to do the individual private coaching, as much as I think that you would get value in it. And
mm,
I'm not willing to pay the bill for him.
yeah,
But this is something that Absolutely. Getting groups together could
Yeah.
work fantastic. And there's the benefit of hearing other people's stories and what
Yes.
their process is, that you can have your own aha moment
Yep.
going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've had many of that in my life because I've been in group coaching myself. So yeah, it
Yeah.
happens.
And I thrive in those environments myself. And if nothing else, I love giving feedback to people. I'm a busy person that way. Um, so our timer is going to go off here in just a couple of seconds.
Sure.
So let's make sure we get in what you want to, the message that you want to share, or any information that you want to share that we have not covered yet.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to underline everything that we've just talked about, of the belief like that there is a purpose for you, for anyone listening, because it's one thing to intellectually think like, yeah, like I think my life has a purpose and feel that, but a whole nother thing happens. Like you have a whole new energy when you connect with the truth that there is this one power, one presence, one life. Call it God, call it spirit, call it source, infinite intelligence, Allah, Krishna. I mean, so many different names, labels, but just believing and knowing that there is this power. And now science is coming to prove that there is this unified field of energy that everything the physical reality emanates from. It shows and it really gives evidence to that there has to be a purpose for your life, and that when you say yes to that, like of discovering that and moving in the direction of that, that life is going to support you. That you don't have to do this on your own. Like on top of getting support from others, but that you're never alone. Even when you feel like when you think that you're alone, you're not. That there is life that is behind you that is supporting you, and when you take a step, that God takes 10,000 steps towards you. And so there's just that belief that I believe is necessary to, I would say necessary if you want to accelerate at a certain rate that is quicker than you would on your own power.
Yeah.
Because think about this as the final thing I'll say, that to give evidence to that, because I'm scientifically minded, that we don't beat our heart once on our own. We're given this life every single day. And so it's a gift, and it's a cliche at this point of like saying that this present moment is a gift. But I like to say that a cliche is only a cliche because the truth is worth saying 1,000 times. And so there is that within you that wants this life for you that you're imagining. And so when you start to step in that direction, a whole matter of support is going to come your way. So trust that.
Wow. Let that sink in, people. That's amazing. All right. I want to sit here and talk to you a whole lot longer, but we can't. We've got a lot of these that we're doing. So I'm going to share with you, the viewers, some information. Kevin is a provider in the Udefine Wellness Network. And if you're wondering what that is all about, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the products that we have out there, but I'm going to tell you how important this network is. And that we have hundreds of health and wellness professionals from across the United States who can work with people anywhere in the world, and some in your hometown, that are in our network. And if you search the internet, you can find a ton of health and wellness directories out there. That's great, but we do something they don't do, and that is we vet our providers. We do a criminal background investigation. We're looking at their licenses and any disciplinary actions against them. We're looking at, are they a legal business? We're also looking at what their reputation is, and that's really important. So when you're choosing someone to help you, when you're becoming the director of your own healthcare, know that we have this directory out there. Whether you're one of our clients or not, you can access it by going to our website, and I'll share that with you in a moment. And while it shouldn't be your only decision, and I apologize, my dog is barking, you're going to hear this in this recording, but if it shouldn't be only determinant of who you work with, our directory, it is a good indication of at least the next step you should take with them. So our products that we have out there is we have a directory of people like Kevin and 130 other modalities where we can put together products, and like an employee benefit program for the workplace. So we can have an employer subsidized way for you to access people like Kevin. We also have a directory of education classes. I call it our education catalog, where these are programs that our providers have put together. So if you are doing a lunch and learn and you need a speaker or a community group or an association or a school, you can find a speaker through our education catalog. And when it's available for free, the catalog, you can download it from our website. Take a look at it. Some incredible programs, dozens of topics out there. We also have something that we're launching with this confab, which is our Healthy Living Savings Card, and Kevin is a discount provider on it. This is for somebody who is not on our employee benefit program, but they want to play. They want discounts on products and services for health and wellness. So this card is available. It's a one-time purchase. It's $99. It never expires, but we have a special going on through the end of this confab where you can get it at half price. Your family members can use it, your friends, your next door neighbor, your coworkers, whoever has that card in their hands when they present it to one of the providers who accepts it on our network, gets that discount. And those discounts are set by our providers. And just go to our website and check it out and find out more information. And while you're at our website, please take a look at the Holistic Healing Workplace Crisis Support Team. This is something that we're putting together. It's an unmet need in the community right now, because when crisis hits the workplace, the employers are told to bring in the counselors and the psychotherapists, but we know that trauma left unhandled will manifest in other areas of the body. And it will crop up days, weeks, months, and even years later. And so we can bring in a team of holistic health advisors, people like Kevin, who can work with the employees and help them identify the right healing path for them out of that crisis or trauma that has taken place. And this will be spun off as a nonprofit. We are raising funds for its eventual nonprofit status, and so that we can provide some of these services hopefully for free in the community, or at least at a discount. And if you are so inclined to make a donation, we just invite you to go to paypal.me/udefinewellness. But the most important thing right now is, how do you reach Kevin? So here is his phone number and his website, and we encourage you to go to it and reach out to him. See if he can help you get to that next step in identifying your purpose. And if you didn't get a chance to write it down, there's a wonderful little rewind button. Go back and capture it. Kevin, thank you. This
You're
was
welcome.
fantastic. I loved having you on as one of the people I get to interview in this Defining Wellness Confab.
Yeah, thank you so much. I've had a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to talking more.
Awesome. And thank you also to all of you who are watching this recording. Wherever you found the recording, we have a whole library set up on YouTube. All the 48 sessions of the Defining Wellness Confab and a bunch more information is on our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube, put in You Define Wellness in the search bar, and you will find our channel. So once again, thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
And we hope to see all of you on another recording.